Welcome back to Big Balls Fantasy Football. We all know the game that's coming up this week is Monday Night Football with the Bears and the Packers. It doesn't get any better than this. 187 meetings of the two teams. We haven't met with them on Monday Night Football in Lambeau since '97, for crying out loud. So, of course, we had to bring Prost in, all decked out and ready to go here. So, what do you think are your chances of actually beating us, Guy?
Really?
Yeah, really.
That's a serious question, is it?
Yes, it's a serious question. Answer.
I don't have any doubt in my mind. Even my third string defense. I mean, look what we've been doing. The Bears are a speed bump on the way to bigger things.
Well, no. You see, our defense has been sucking. I'll give you that. But tell us about our offense.
Well, our offense is, I think, 11th in the league so far, so they're not terrible by any means. And I need to tell you that cheese on your head is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. So
it smells like Limburger, dude.
It's been known to save lives. He was in a plane crash, used it to brace himself and survived, walked away. It's a life-saving piece of foam.
Oh, for love of God.
But I actually have to admit, I am nervous about this game. We typically don't play very well up there. We play a little bit better against the Packers at home. And you guys still have your quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. So I know you guys have a lot of receivers out, a lot of defenders out, but they have Aaron Rodgers and Eddie Lacy.
They have Aaron Rodgers and Eddie Lacy, but your receiver core is depleted. And now let's talk from a fantasy perspective really quick. Most divisional games, and we talk about this all the time, they're fantasy poison because they're either big defensive struggles or you just can't get any momentum going with your players. How do you think your receivers or any of your players from a fantasy perspective are going to do, Pros?
Watching the way Rodgers was placing, ear hole balls that were sent on TV to Nelson, not too worried about those two. Corliss, he's a blocking tight end. He can't catch. Oh, he may get one or two, but fantasy-wise, Boykin's coming on. He'll be all right. Mm-hmm. And then they're starting to put starts in more. So we have actually a two-headed running machine, which is something the Packers haven't had two running backs for years. I go back to, I want to say, John Brockington and MacArthur Lane.
Who? What year is it?
I wasn't born yet.
Yeah, she wasn't even thought of.
We don't need a running game. We have a Rodgers.
I think the Bears are going to do better than people think they are, Jenilee, because as I mentioned on the last show, our quarterback has done the best against your team, has scored 21 points. That's more than Cutler's ever scored against the Packers at all. So,
well, I hope so, and I'm wearing my brand new Brandon Marshall jersey. So, he's definitely one that needs to step up for us. Forte, I think Forte is going to get the ball a lot in the game. We need to kind of lean on that running game. So, who knows? It'd be interesting if it would be a high-scoring game, but typically they're not. Typically they're very low-scoring games, but both defenses are playing bad. So it'll be interesting to see which way the table tilts.
Mm-hmm. Well,
you're with Cutler once back in, and two guys put wishbone with him, so he's back out again.
Hey, I have Marshall on too, so Wonder Twin powers activate. We're locking it in right here. It's 2 against 1. So, you guys are going down, but let's get to his segment, Jenilee. What do you say?
Yeah, absolutely. So every week, Prost gives us a one-hit blunder, and it's a player that maybe went off 1 week, maybe 2 weeks in the season, and everyone's running out to grab him off the waiver wire, and then they do nothing for the rest of the season. So when we come back, he's going to let us know who he predicted last week and what that result was, and then who he's predicting this week to be the one-hit blunder and not pan out. So we're going to get into that and the injury report when we come back.
Last week I said not to trust Peyton Hillis, and 70 on the ground, 15 in the air. I think it was 2 catches, no touchdowns. He disappointed as I figured he would. Not very impressive numbers. This week, I'm on the anti-Percy Harvin bandwagon. Everyone's all over this guy. You'll find out later in the injury segment he might actually have a chance of getting on the field a bit more than I would expect. He's a return man. He's not a receiver. We've been through this. He's rusty. He was supposed to play Sunday night. He went down Thursday. He aggravated that hip that's already been hurting him. You'll pick him up. You say, hey, I've had faith in him. I'm holding on to him. He'll come around. I know he'll be rusty, blah, 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 blah. What you need to know is in your fantasy playoffs, assuming you make it there, week 14, Seattle goes to San Francisco. Week 15, they go to New York. Yeah, you said New York, you laugh. New York plays better ball late in the season, and it's the road for Seattle. They barely escaped with their teeth on Sunday night, or Monday night rather. So he's not for me. I would avoid Percy Harvin.
That's going to crush some people out there. I know a lot of people went and grabbed him. There is someone that I know that absolutely always loves Percy every year. So I like
get
that.
On in here.
That's
get on in
interesting.
here. Come on, get on in here. This is
Percy, I love you, man. I love you.
See, this is the one man Percy Harvin fan club here. Even though he's a Titans fan, he's still very, very, very into Percy. So yeah, you're gonna make him cry. But I'm kind of with you on it. We don't know how much he's actually gonna play. That's the iffy thing. So it's, we're going to bring him back at whatever his pace is, blah, blah, blah. It's typical Coach Pete Carroll doing what he did even back in USC. Oh, he might play, he might not play.
Absolutely. And this is a tough bye week. So, like we've kind of already mentioned, it's hard a week like this to chance a player that you have no idea how they're going to perform. You need to try to get people on your roster that you feel like have some guaranteed value, even if it's 11 or 12 points.
Right.
That's better than nothing. So
definitely.
I like it.
Speaking of dealing with the bye weeks, injuries have just been insane. Prost, when we come back, we're going to get your injury report, right?
Yeah, sounds good. Let me get my scroll out.
Stay tuned, everybody.
So, in the interest of time and everything else, I'm going to avoid, as usual, the questionable and probable players, since they're probably going to play. We don't need to worry about them. I'm going to have to leave off the impact defensive players.
You think if we do this, we injure him? What do you think? What do you think?
It turns out your DeMarco Murrays and people like that haven't really been that big of a detriment to the team. Packers are slamming without Clay Matthews and their backup Nick Perry, so we're good there. We'll leave the defense alone. The hamstring list: Michael Vick, Santonio Holmes, Arian Foster, to name. Yeah, those are the three that may or may not be playing. Vick wants to; he'll be out. Holmes is definitely out. Foster, he says he wants to play, but he's looking bad as well. It's a lingering hammy. Mike Williams from Tampa Bay, his hamstring, he's done. He had surgery. That's the hamstring list. We'll get to Broyles in Detroit. He cracked his Achilles. He's done. Lucky for them, the Pizza Man will be back after the bye, in theory. They're trying to get him back after the bye. So if you got a chance to grab Nate Burleson, now would be the chance to do it. RG3, they said the knee is fine. His psyche is what's damaged. He does not look like the same guy. He looks scared out there. That's the best way to put it. He's not throwing accurately.
True that.
I think the knee is still an issue for him. St. Louis, Stacy, the only thing they really have on that team, injured his ankle late in the game last week. It's a low ankle sprain. We'll see how he's recovering. And as I alluded to, Simeon Rice went out with a concussion last night, and at some point must have fallen down the stairs because they're reporting he has a torn ACL.
Yep.
He's done for the year.
Did you say Simeon Rice? Sydney Rice.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, he's in the same category as
Tony Amendola.
Yeah.
Him and Tony Amendola hang out at the bar together all the time.
I'm so old school. I got the old Tampa Bay Buccaneers in my head.
I know. But you see, that's why we have, one name nicknames here, so that way we can remember our names. That's the only reason we do it. Otherwise, I'd call you Joe Goforth. That's what I'd call you.
It's just a lot easier to have one name, thanks to Madonna and people like that. Anyway,
Yeah.
The other half of Houston, the handcuff for Foster, Ben Tate, broken ribs. He wants to play too, not looking too good. Houston actually called people up off the street, asked if they'd ever run the football before. They had 3 tryouts today.
They called me. I think they called Trey over there too. But
I pulled my handy.
Yeah, but we said no because we don't want to play for the Texans. So
That was pretty much, I told them the same thing. I was like, thanks, but no thanks. My Packer tattoo might give away too much stuff, so
yeah.
can't be doing that. But anyway, that's the injury list as it stands today. Come back Sunday, check to see who's actually playing and who's not. And since it is early in the week, we still have practices. More guys are going to get hurt. It's amazing to keep a fantasy roster going at this stage.
Yeah, I don't know if it's more injuries this year than other years. I just know it seems like it because in fantasy, you're always looking at your roster and, at least one player is going down a week from your roster, it seems like. So, it does seem like it's more.
I do think it's more this season. I think you're dealing with a lot of what it is every season, and I say it every season. It's conditioning. Nobody conditions themselves in the off season.
Yeah.
And then your big guys go down, and then the secondary guys that aren't conditioned because they didn't think they were going to be playing, they go down, and then all of a sudden you have Zach Stacy. Yeah.
Well, and the league doesn't allow the players to practice
Right.
as long as they used to either, which goes into conditioning because if you're getting more practice time in on the field, you're running around more, everything like that. So I think that with the NFL trying to make things safer, it's actually doing the reverse effect a little bit.
I agree.
And you get your regulars, your McFadden's, your Bradshaws. Oh, they got hurt again. Yeah, we knew that. That's why we had contingency plans for that. Even I remember like Reggie Wayne done for the year. Go ahead. I'm sure everyone's done it. Look at your top positions to fill bye weeks. This guy's on IR. This guy's out.
Yep.
Your top 5 guys, 3 of them are done for the year. Your top 10, 7 are done for the year. And that's of the fantasy players. These are guys that put up so many numbers in the first half of the season that they still have the highest rankings over their scrub subs that can't do anything.
So thanks a lot for the injury report. All I have is one thing to say. The way we have him positioned here, doesn't he kind of look like a yellow penis? I mean, really.
This is what I deal with all the time. These are the people I work with.
We're just guys here.
Thrust it, don't you?
Hey.
All right, well, that is going to wrap up our show for everyone tonight. That's some Week 9 info for you. And be sure to follow us. Go to our official website, bigballsfantasyfootball.com. Tweet us at bigballsfball. Where can they find us on Facebook?
You can, of course, go to facebook.com/bigballsfootball, fantasy football, Big Balls Fantasy Football, and we have all of our injury updates. I get them on Sunday morning bright and early. Jump on there. And you also definitely want to, find us. We're on Pinterest. We're on every single site. If you go to bigballsfantasyfootball.com, every single link is there. But what you really want to do is double your money, double your picks. You want to go to our podcast that we post every Wednesday about the same time that we post up our video cast. And you want to go to blogtalkradio.com/GRR. It's on the Greg Reifsteck Radio Network.
Sounds good. So do we have anything special going on next week?
We will have to find out. We're going to find out if we win That's what's going to happen.
That's it. I think we should have a friendly wager going.
Asking as we go, this thing here, I named it Bears because he gets smoked every week.
Oh!
Just for that, we are going to think of a wager.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Yeah. You're going to, we're going to, brats against pizza, huh?
Something.
Brats against pizza. We'll do like the mayors always do. So, basically, you didn't even pay us back on our radio bet so far. So, we should go like double or nothing on that.
I think so.
Let's go double or nothing.
Last year because I don't want to take that one for free. I wound up sweeping you guys. I lost on a whole different side thing. Had my shoulder surgery, couldn't make it up for the Bear game.
Excuses.
Feeling scared? Feeling scared?
We need a whole new bet. I mean, I'll take double or nothing. That'll get me out of having more than that Bear jersey next time.
Listen to the podcast. We're going to have a bet. All right?
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and good night.
Good night.